Good day, everyone. So we are here to learn a simple application in Python using the CRUD operations in TKinter using SQLite database. So come on and let's code. Let's open Spider application using Anaconda, and once you open, so the first thing we need to do is to import our SQLite 3 for our database, our SQLite library to handle our database operations, and we need to provide for our TKinter environment. We need to import TKinter. Import this. Aside from that, we need to import because we will be using a message box and a simple dialog. TKinter import message box simple dialog. Okay, so this one will handle our GI functionality of our TKinter, and also including our message box and simple dialog box. The next step is we need to have a global declaration of our variable connection, none, and this one will manage our SQLite database connection later on. Okay, so we are done on this part, and the next step we're going to do is to connect our database. After doing that, we need to create our function and create our database together with our table. So here we will have a def connection db, and we will create a database. So this is a function declaration connection db. We'll have a global connection. This one, we declare the connection variables as a global, enabling it to be used across the database operations. The next step is connection. We're now using the connection SQLite 3.connect testing div. Testing db. So testing db, we have established our SQLite connection on our file name database testing _db. So if the file doesn't exist, then it will automatically create one. The next cursor is equal to connection dot cursor, and cursor dot execute. Now we will create table. If not exist user account. Okay. User account. Okay. So now we will create our table. So on this part, we are creating our cursor object to be to execute an SQL commands. So that SQL command will be this one. Okay. Now we will create 3 columns on our table that we created, user account. This one for ID, integer, primary key, auto increment. Okay, so that one is an auto increment value of our column ID, and with a primary key that will be uniquely stored and identified on our record. And the next one is username, text, not null, and also our password, text, not null. Okay, so now we have already created our table. So the next step is to connection that commit. Why do we need this? So that we ensures that whatever changes has been made to our database will be saved. Okay? It would be best for this code to insert it in a try except handling, so that if ever there will be an error occurred on our database, it will be captured in try except. Except SQLite dot error as e assigned to e. So message box that show error will pop up database error and str e. So this one will catch um, catch any errors raised by our SQLite operations and displays the message graphically using the message box, the titled database error, and it will, whatever error occurs or catches, it will be displayed by variable e. Aside from this, our connection already established. Let's pop a message that inside our connection that we have already successfully created, connected to our database that show info uh, database connection successfully connected to testing DB. Okay. In order for us to display this successfully connection, we need to create our root window of our TKinter. Doing that, we need to have root is equal to TK, and we need to have a title for that. Title CRUD operation using TKinter with SQLite DB. And for the size of our window, we need to have root that geometry and the value of the width, say 500, by the height will be 300. Okay. With that, we will create our menu bar for the interface that we're going to have in order to validate our connection DB. To do that, we need our menu equal menu and root. And root.config menu is equal to menu. In this statement, we create our menu bar application, and for this command, for the config menu is equal to menu, we assign our created menu bar on our main window. Now, we will create our file menu. Comma, clear of is equal to 0. Then menu dot add cascade label is equal to file, comma, menu is equal to file menu. So this command here, we create a drop-down menu under our menu bar. And for the tier of is equal to 0, it disables the ability to tier off the menu as a floating window, while the add cascade label file menu is equal to menu file menu. So this adds the file on our menu bar. Okay. And now we will add a menu item for our file menu dot add underscore command label is equal to connect database. Connect database, comma, command is equal to, what is our function? This one, connection db. So this one we add menu on our file, which is labeled connect database, and connect database which is linked, and this one which is linked to our menu, to our function connection db, which establish a connection on our SQLite database and creates whatever inside of our connection db. Now it creates our database and our table. Okay, so to run this and check our if we have established connection in our database, we need to have our root that main loop. To check, this will be the interface, and we have our file, this one, menu bar, and we have our connect database, this one. And once we click this one, oh, we have successfully connected to testing db, and it also created our table user account. And just want to click OK and close this one. Now we have successfully created our database and table. So to have our CRUD operations, we need to create the CRUD operations in our menu. So we need to put our code. We need to design this one. We need to have to make it separated from other menus, submenu. We need to have a file menu that add separator. is only a separator for intended for this connect database. And for our CRUD operations, we need to create CRUD under p5. So are you going to do that? We need to have CRUD underscore menu is equal to menu file menu tier of is equal to 0. Now file menu dot add underscore cascade label equal to CRUD operation. So menu CRUD menu. Okay. So this one we have our menu for CRUD operations under file. Next, we need to create the menu items under CRUD operations. It will be a submenu. So how are we going to do that? We need to call the CRUD menu for our CRUD operations, create, read, and update, delete. Create 4, since we have 4 for the CRUD, we have to have that add underscore command label equal to read command. Let's identify our function since we don't have yet functions. Let's just say it is a this is intended for read. Let's have first create operation, create account. Let's have create account. As to go faster, you just want to copy paste this one and just change read update and delete. We just want to read update and delete. So to check whether this menu has been created on our TKinter, let's just run this one, and there's an error on this side because we still didn't create our functions. Let's remove for the meantime this one in order for us to see our submenu under CRUD operations. So run. Okay, so we have this one. So we have already our separator displayed on this. And the CRUD operations, we have our submenu. Right? All we need to do now is to create the different functions intended for create menu, the read account, the update account, and the delete account. So we are now done on creating our formulas for our CRUD operations. The menu buttons like for the create account, read account, update account, and delete account. So now what we're going to do is to create the functions intended for these operations. So since we're going to first we have our create account, then let's just copy this one. Okay, this one will execute that is linked to our function. We'll create a function, create account, and doing that, we will now creating our functions in here after our establishing connection to our database. So here def create account, then the next step is if not connection message box that show error, so this is an error. So that error is database is not connected. Please connect your database. Then return. So this code, simple code, it just only checks um, whether our interface is connected to our database or not. So if it is not connected, there is a prompt message that will display as an error message, and it will prompt the database not connected. Please connect your database. Okay, so the next step that we're going to do, since we are done on checking our connection, then we need to we will now input our username and password. So we'll have a variable username that will hold for our simple dialog box that has a value of a string and username, that is for the title, and for the prompt message, enter your username. And for the password, you just only copy this one and change it to password. Okay, so password is also a variable that will hold for our simple dialog box that asks for an input of our string as an input of our password. Enter your password. So since this one just only a simple presentation that we are creating an account, and although you can have this one improvement by doing an asterisk sign or maybe an encryption of our password, and also you can have a verification of uh, confirmation of password and have that one, but since it's just only a simple presentation of a CRUD operation, so let's proceed. So we're done holding the variable, so in here, we are going to ensure that both fields are not empty. Okay? So we'll make a condition if username and password, we will have our try except. Yan. Just complete later on. So try. We will now have the cursor is equal to connection dot cursor. The connection dot cursor. We are creating our object cursor to execute an SQL command, which we will be using cursor dot execute. And what are these SQL parameters? So we'll have, since this one is creating an account, so we'll have insert into. So what table name? User account. And what are the fields? We have the username and password, and the values, just only put it as question mark because still unknown, and comma. And for the variable name for our this question mark for our variables, for the username and password. Again, we need to use the connection.commit to ensure that the transaction is being saved. So we are not done on our try. Aside from that, we need to pop up a message that confirms that we have created an account for our user. So show info, and just only say account, and for the prompt message, successfully created an account. Okay, the prompt message is done. Now for our accept, SQLite 3 that error as. So to do that, we need to prompt a message box that show error. So error, and for the title, this is an error, comma, in the prompt message. I just copy this one, database error. Okay, E. So here, it handles again our database related errors on our SQLite. If there are some invalid or connection issues happens on creating an account. So done the exception handling. So now we need to have else. else, since this is not an empty, so if it's an empty, we need to have a pop-up message box that show error, and that error um I'm going to prompt username and password are empty. Please try again. So we are now done on creating our account. So let's validate on our code. Let's check. Okay, so it will have this one, and we're done on create. Database is not connected. So what will happen? We need to connect our database first and create an account. So this will be the dialog box will appear. Enter user name. So my name is sample A, and for my password is sample A. Okay, so we have created a successful account for our table user account. So the next operation is grid. So let's check whether we have created our account, right? So we're going to do that. We need to display that one. So we're going to create. We have the code for our read account, and just only copy this one and change it automatically. It's linked to our function read account. So now we're going to create our function um, read account def, okay, read account one. So we will fetch our record, no, on our database table user account and display it on a list box. Um, so we'll have it this code again. If no connection, we will check our account if we are connected or not. Then our code, by fetching our account, what we're going to do is that we'll put it inside again in our try except handling. Except we have cursor SQL connection, that cursor, okay. And since we're going to execute our object, creating object, execute SQL command, doing this, and after that one, what's that SQL command? Cursor SQL dot execute. So we are now retrieving. We'll have select keyword, and we're going to have the username password, although we can have it specific. If it's specific, you'll type the username and password. Just only put an asterisk so I can fetch all information from keyword and our table name user account. Now we will have a variable records that will fetch all information of our here object of the SQL command. This one will retrieve whatever all records that we have there in a row and store it into our variable records. Fetch all. Then what we're going to do next is read underscore window is equal to top level root. Okay? Top level root and read underscore window the title um, user counts, and we'll display it in our list box is equal to list box read window comma and the width of our list box. I'll have it as 50 and the height equivalent to 20. It's only testing, but we can change it later on if it doesn't uh, uh, doesn't fit in our taste. Okay, so we'll make visible of our list box dot pack pad x is equal to 10 and pad y is equal to 10. Okay, so let's discuss first what is our statement now. Here, in here, we are creating our top level window. So this is an independent from our main window, and we have the title um, user account. So as for our list box, this for our list box widget to the sub window. So this intended to retrieve our records and display it here, no? And configure its size and height for better appearance. So now we're going now to display our uh, record of our account, user account. So we have if records, and so for record in records, use a looping display list box that insert. We're going to insert and the ID colon close record 0. Separator username for the one password to column 2. Else list box that insert and comma no records found. Except handling, same as what we did in our password SQLite. Just copy this one. So here we use a conditional statement. If record, so we use looping to store whatever is being fetched in our records here. Then after that one, we'll display it in the list box as a formatted in string for ID, username, and password. So if no records are displayed, we'll have display no error, no records found in our list box. Okay, so we're done on our code for reading our account. So we will run this one. So first, run this one and read account. Again, we don't have connection with database. And read account. So here we have our simple A password and simple A. That is example data that we entered a while ago for sample A and password sample A. So we have two remaining, the update and delete. Okay, so we have a command equal to update account. The update account already have linked to our function, so we need now to create our function for our update account. Again, you need to check our connection. I just copy this one, paste it here, and we'll have an account ID, simple dialog, ask integer, the title, search ID, enter the ID of the account to be updated. Once we have entered our account to update, um, I'll have a just only update our password. And password for your new password, we're going to update to simple dialog that has string type new password prompt enter new password. Once we enter our new password, then we'll have a condition that checks our um, our input has a value of our account ID, and we entered a new password. So account ID and password being execute cursor is equal to connection dot cursor cursor dot execute. Since we're going to execute SQL command, that command will be update, and our table user account set keyword and password is equal to question mark where keyword ID is equal to question mark comma, and what are these value, and password comma and account ID. Okay, and to execute connection dot commit ensures that I do use question mark is that we use that one to use the parameterized queries and protects against SQL injection. And for the commit, we save our changes. So if cursor dot row count colon message box that show info update account comma account password new password successfully changed So else message box, we're going to display here the show error error message is that account ID not found. As for our except, we'll just copy this one and else here. Message box that show error comma account ID or password are empty. Please try again. We are done here in our update account. Let's proceed to deleting an account. Command is equal to delete account. We'll create our function again. Same procedure. Def delete account. Let's check our database. Simple. We just only use our account ID. Delete. Just copy this one. Enter the account ID to be deleted. Delete. So if account ID is not empty, then we'll have a pop-up message that says that you sure you want to delete. If yes, then it will delete as yes or no. Delete account. Comma. Are you sure you to delete this account? So if confirm the value, try cursor equal to connection dot cursor and cursor dot execute use keyword delete from our table name, user account, where ID is equal to question mark, comma, account ID. Connection that commit changes if cursor that row count message box that show info delete account, comma, the prompt message account has been deleted successfully. Okay. Then else message box that show error account ID not found. For our except, let's copy this one. I'll try except, and for our else, this one, show error account ID must not be empty. Please try again. Okay, to check our code, align properly. Let's make sure that all are aligned. There will be no error. Okay, so let's run. Close this one. Let's run. Connect our database, and for the update we will type our ID. So meron akong ID kanina, based on my record, we'll add a window here. Check on our window capture. The output is not visible for you, so we will we'll add a window. It's not a window, but a display. Okay, so right there. So let's check our update. We don't have connection in our database. Let's see our record that we're going to update. So we'll update this one. We'll make it B. This one will make it. I will make our password B on our ID number 2. So here we'll select our ID 2, and for the password, we'll just have sample B. So to check that we have successfully updated our record, so I change our password B now. So I will delete my record here. ID 1. We need to delete the ID 1. So we're going to delete this one by using the account ID number 1. And are you sure you want to delete this account? Then say yes. Then if we're going to check our record, delete number 2. Yes. There's something wrong on my operation. My code. Let's check first. Connection on our undefined. Okay, connection. Oops. Oops. Account ID, question mark, user account. This one. There. So it's a wrong spelling. Connection. So now we'll close our application and run it again. We don't have error anymore. So have it this one. Delete. Try to connect our database, and for our record, we have 1. So we're going to delete 1. Delete account. Delete type 1. So should I delete account? Yes. Check our record. It's still there. How about 2? 2. Check our record. The account still there. I think there's something wrong in our code. Message box will be fine. Message box. Okay, so this only have an error on our when I troubleshoot, I have here an error on triple S here, so I just corrected it so that the deleting of records will be corrected. The last operation, delete account, so let's display. But before that, we must check our record first. So we have the remaining record. We just delete the number 2. Okay, so delete the account ID number 2. You want to delete account has been successfully deleted successfully. So let's check on our record. Then no more. So those are the CRUD operations in TKinter using the SQLite operation. So if you're going to use the WAMP server, the functionalities here on the query are the same. Just only the difference is just how are you going to connect your database here. So you'll not be using any more creating database. You just only have a connection on your database. I think that is all for today, and see you on my next video.